So, guys, I've been saying for quite a while now, I mean, it's probably over a year at this point, that gaming urinalists or urinalists in general are completely angry over the fact that they no longer have control over the mainstream narrative or the narrative in general. They cannot spin a narrative without getting completely roasted. They cannot openly come out and lie about it without people having receipts. The entire reason why they are so upset is because Twitter is no longer their leftist identity politics safe haven. Like, they knew that Twitter was the reason why they were able to spin the narrative in the first place back in the day, and they were able to get their way and change people's perceptions over what's happening in public. Now, at the end of the day, Twitter is still having some issues. Obviously, we know that. But it does create an environment where people from both sides can get together and either roast each other or have a conversation. Now, people like Cecilia D'Anastasio does not like that stuff, okay? She hates that stuff. And the reason why is because she's a mainstream urinalist, and that is stopping her from getting her way on the narrative.
Bye, Felicia.
So we have an article here from That Park Place with a headline that reads, Bloomberg video game reporter Cecilia D'Anastasio bemoans YouTubers eating away at journalism's mindshare. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this person who thinks they are such an amazing journalist is mad at YouTubers being better than they are. They are mad at YouTubers getting a slice of the pie because they themselves let that pie sit out because they suck. That's really what it is. Nobody wants to talk about the truth as to why YouTubers have taken over, but we're going to get into it. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Of course, this person has a nose ring, not too shocking. Bloomberg video game reporter Cecilia, who previously worked at Kotaku. Oh, of course. Of course she worked at Kotaku. Is anybody sitting here shocked that they just heard urinalist and Kotaku in the same exact sentence? Bemoaned the fact that YouTubers are eating away at journalism's mindshare. She bemoaned that the fact that following the news that IGN Entertainment acquired the Gamer Network, which includes a number of video game websites, including GamesIndustry.biz, Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG247, and Dicebreaker. Not only did they outright acquire these websites, but also acquired shares in Outside Xbox, Digital Foundry, and Hookshot. Hookshot operates Nintendo Life, Push Square, Pure Xbox, and Time Extension. IGN Entertainment did not acquire Popverse or the UK-based events EGX or MCN. Following this acquisition announcement, Jeffrey Rizzo detailed that he had been laid off from games industry. He posted on X, "Hello folks, I'm unfortunately been laid off from games industry. I'm fine, really. I'm open to new work opportunities. If you require the skills of an award-winning reporter and journalist with a focus on marginalized voices and B2B writing, please consider me. I'd appreciate it." So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why YouTubers like myself are completely destroying you terrible fucking urinalists. This is why. When you want to do, let's just say gaming journalism, right? Let's focus on gaming journalism. When you want to do journalism, and with your journalism, you decide to, instead of telling the truth, instead of being objective, instead of being nuanced and being in the middle and just telling both sides of the story as it is factually, you decide to want to be an activist. You decide to want to put out your own personal message. You decide to want to take in the information that was given to you and spin it to make it fit whatever agenda that you are trying to promote at the time. That's when you don't become a games journalist anymore. That's when you become a gaming urinalist. That is why you are losing to YouTubers, because a lot of YouTubers are going to, number one, tell you the truth, and number two, they're going to tell it to you in a lot more entertaining way than anything a gaming urinalist can come up with, and YouTubers are completely destroying you because of it. But let's be real, it is your fault. All of this is your fault. It is your decision to do this, and because you decided to do this, and because people have caught up on it, and people realize your bullshit and see right through you, now they realize they don't need you. Why would they want to go to you when they could go to YouTubers who do it way better and are way more interesting at that? It says that D'Anastasio reacted to Russell's post, writing, "Jeffrey has quickly become my go-to source for fast, business-focused games news. Absolutely wild decision from games industry new owner IGN." Well, if that's the case, why is he talking about focusing on marginalized voices? What the fuck does marginalized voices have to do with business-focused game news? Like, get that shit out of here. That's why you are losing. Absolutely wild decision from games industry. Was also shocked to see they laid off Brendan Sinclair, whose games business analysis and features are appointment reading. In a subsequent post, she added, a strong games press is especially important as the lines blur between gaming and social media and big tech. There's so many stories to write. These senseless layoffs are especially painful as reactionary YouTubers with no journalism training eat away at journalism's mindshare. Well, let's be very clear, Miss Cecilia. If you are an example of what it means to have journalism training, I don't want any, okay? I don't want any at all. You can keep that shit completely away from me because I firmly believe that I will do much better without your training, okay? And it is very clear that we have been. Us YouTubers have, in fact, been doing much better than most gaming journalists, if not all of them, depending on which YouTuber you want to talk about. So again, if you are the prime example of gaming journalism and how important it is and what proper training is, I don't want it. You can keep it. Keep what you're selling. I don't need it. It says numerous individuals responded to D'Anastasio. YouTuber, oh, I'm in here. Hey, shout out. YouTuber Hypnotic. Bro, it's not our fault that journalists decided to stop being journalists and instead be activists, writing lies to benefit whatever agenda that is important to them. YouTubers took over because you guys are boring and liars on top of that. Hey, I'm in this article. Check that out. I didn't even realize that. Shout out to that Park Place. John Goetz added, gaming media has needed a purge for a while now. Terrible agendas being pushed for years is finally catching up with them. Stuttering Craig, a side-scrollers, wrote, Cecilia, we've never met, but for you to honestly think that video game journalists have journalism training is legit laughable. In my nearly 2 decades of experience, most have never been in a journalism classroom or know the ins and outs of true journalism. The vast majority are glorified bloggers with access. That's it. Now, this comment right here, I agree with 100%. If you look at any gaming journalist, you're going to find out very quickly that they are not actual journalists whatsoever. They are glorified bloggers, if at that. And even glorified bloggers is probably giving them too much credit. They're going to put out the bare minimum that they are able to put out while pushing whatever agenda they're either told to push or they want to push. Alyssa Mercante is probably the best example out of all of that. So a gaming journalist is not a journalist, and games media can be very well without gaming journalists. We don't need them in order to survive. It says RP Genie wrote, YouTubers are outpacing journalists at an incredible pace. Unfiltered raw information and usually with little or no bias due to lack of knowledge on the situation and no intricate details fed by corporate overlords. It's a crushing journalism and I love every single minute of it. Myself included. I love every minute of this. I love seeing gaming journalists just losing their minds because they are no longer relevant. They don't know what to do. They have lived their entire lives for that blue check mark. Remember when gaming journalists had blue check marks and they would throw it in everyone's face as if it's the most important thing? You would have male gaming journalists going out there on dates and telling their girls that, hey, yeah, I'm a blue check mark, by the way. I'm verified on Twitter. What say you? You know what I'm saying? It used to be a little bit of a club that you had to have special access in order to get into. But now that he's made everybody able to purchase a blue check mark, gaming journalists or journalists in general lost their mind. And that was just the first example of it. Now we realize what happens when they can't control the narrative. They lose their mind even more. And now they're melting down. So I'm here for this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to see it happen, and I hope that it continues because honestly, we need a purge when it comes to the gaming journalists. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.